Hey, good evening. It's really amazing to have you guys here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer, and tonight we're going to be reacting to BEATPELLA House's Rob Roy. I'm really excited to jump into this piece. I've heard one of their pieces before. I don't necessarily remember the piece as a whole, but I remember how it made me feel, which was really great, and just really loving their vibes, their whole aesthetic, their groove. And I love all members of this group on an individual level, let alone in a group setting. And honestly, the beatbox crew scene has been getting so much better and has been improving so much. So I'm really excited just to hear this new track that they put out recently, and I hope you guys are too. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Yeah, wing! Yeah! Oh! Oh, those echoes!
In my feeling now, gonna follow when your pheromone up all night. I can lose myself.
Oh, dude.
Can't do anything if I can make you mine.
Oh, Huckle.
In a haze mind, in a day's caught in a maze, memories fade. I'm gonna chase you down. Surely I can make you wear the crown.
Oh, so smooth, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. I need so much more of that, man. Oh, dude, that was so much fun. Dude, just right off the bat, you have these really great harmonies, and then you just jump right into the smoothest throat bass in the game from Wing, and then you just have these layers stacking on top of each other. You get Jackpot, you get Wing doing his throat bass, you have Hellcat doing this nice atmospheric build on top of it, and then you get Huckle and Hiss just adding more atmospheric layers, just like some wind effects to create an ambiance with these really solid snares from Huckle that are just very, very crisp. And to hear Hiss's really robust drum and bass after he does these atmospheric sounds, you just have these and then and it's just so good, dude. Like, the contrast, and to have the leading vocals from Yella and Huckle having this very light, very lyric, which essentially just means a higher soft voice, and having this kind of voice, and he just going into the other leading vocalist where he's this more baritone or this lower and kind of raspy sounding voice, adding this new texture, this layer of coarseness. It's like being licked by a dog versus being licked by a cat. In a way, just having these two different textures, but it's both love from both of these animals, and you just really appreciate it for what it is. And I just love it so much. It was such a good vibe, and having all of these layers and textures, it was so much fun, dude. And I gotta listen to this again. I just want to listen to this again just without the analysis, but I gotta do that, so we're just gonna jump into it. Just right off the bat. And it's just so good. Everybody's right in the middle of the pitch, coming in all together. Really great stuff. And to have a little bit of that breathiness of la-di-da-di-da, and just having that nice exhale there. Yeah. And something else too. I'm looking at the way that they're sitting, and it's all presented that way for a reason. It's very visually captivating just to see this professional looking, and you got a little bit of that sexy flair, a little bit of that powerful charisma coming from their outfits, their body language, and it's really good. In terms of singing though, when you are sitting, it is always recommended that when you're sitting while singing, at least in terms of the classical standpoint, you sit with your back away from the chair. You keep your back straight, your spine elongated, and both feet are firmly planted on the floor. You're not putting your feet on the balls of your feet, both feet firmly flat planted. And the reason this is because when you breathe, you got to make sure that nothing is closed. And when you're sitting, you're already at a disadvantage when you're sitting and singing because you're not invigorating your whole body. The air is now kind of working itself up like a maze. So when you close your body off even more by crossing your legs or crossing your arms, restricting some kind of airflow, your breath isn't going to spin as well as it could, and it's not going to be as strong or supported. And that being said, this is for singing when you are not mic'd. This is for singing when you're not focusing too much on the atmosphere, but on the music itself. So the fact that one, they are mic'd, two, this is a very visual piece. It's not just about the music, even though that's a key component of it. And they're just really emphasizing this high level of charisma from every single one of them. All of them look incredibly dapper, and they're all just in their own certain positions to not just perform well, because they don't need to have the most robust voice in this piece. It's very lyric and very soft, and there's just a gentle groove to it, which I really dig. But it's just so good, man. Oh yeah, and her voice is so lovely too. She does that little musical theater technique where she starts on straight tones and ends the cadences with just a little bit of vibrato. Again, it doesn't need to be fully powerful or supported because the vibe is very soft. It's very kind of mezzo piano, mezzo forte, semi-soft to semi-loud, and just kind of within that range of dynamic. But man, they are just all within this particular vibe and groove, and it feels so good. Yeah, and his is just it's just so full and it's so robust in comparison to his very silky smooth just wind effect. It's so good, dude. Yeah, and her voice too, on her vowels are very bright. And typically in classical music, of course, depending on the language, is typically you would want to have more darker, more open vowels. Like instead of going and, you would go on, ah, instead of eh. But this piece just has a certain brightness to it, but it doesn't become so bright it's irritating, like very nasal. It still has a lot of space in her resonance, but her vowels are just coming out so purely and cleanly, even though they're very bright and forward, and I really dig that. Oh yeah. Oh, these echoes. And Hiss's voice is so good to match hers too, because his voice is also pretty lyric and light. So when he goes into his falsetto, or just his head voice in general, it's very soft, very light, very much in line with her voice, and it's just so good, dude. Aw, and that was such a good cut off from Hiss.
Gonna follow when you're pheromone up all night. I can lose myself between this life.
Oh, and I love this too. Notice how there's only two of them performing right now, which is Wing and Huckle, where the three of them in the middle are doing nothing musically. But that being said, you can just see in them that they're still a part of the groove. They're still a part of the piece. They're not just on stage doing nothing. They're still on stage contributing just as much as they would be if they were performing the music. They're still in the groove. Their presence is still mandatory. And they're all there to build that BEATPELLA house aesthetic. And oh, it's so good. Like, they're not just being nonchalant or offhand. They're all there to serve a purpose, even when they're not musically performing. And I really love that.
In my feeling now, gonna follow when you're pheromone up all night. I can lose myself between this light. Can't do anything if I can make you mine. Lost in a haze, mind in a daze, caught in a maze, memories fade. I'm gonna chase you down. Surely I can make you wear the crown.
Yeah, and that entire, Huckle's entire verse there, it was just so consistent. The phrasing was impeccable. His entire flow is what I mean. Like, the dynamics didn't change, and there wasn't heavy accents on specific words. It all just fit within the context of this particular groove that Wing was building with them. And it was so... It just flowed so well. Really great bridge.
Do anything if I can make you mine. Lost in a haze, mind in a daze, caught in a maze, memories fade. I'm gonna chase you down. Surely I can make you wear the crown. My slow pace and blues, don't wanna rewind it anymore. Just like me, you lie upon the floor. My slow pace and blues, don't wanna rewind it anymore. Cherry in the booze, just like me, you lie upon the floor.
I love this so much. Just to have Wing's smoothest throat bass, and then you just have Hiss's smoothest trumpet, and you have so many elements that are just so crisp and so refined and polished. It's just such a good sound. It's so audibly pleasing, dude. Oh, and I didn't even notice that. Hiss was kind of leading into his trumpet verse, just in the back of your mind through this very gentle and light hum. Just... it's so good, dude. Oh, and that... Oh, that was so good, dude. Just to have this pretty consistent sound at mezzo piano, semi-soft, and then back into a piano, and then grow into the slide. Oh, it's such a good, like, textural sound musically. Just... Oh yeah, it's so smooth. Ah. Oh my gosh. And for Wing to do that consistent steady throat bass in the middle of the pitch throughout the entirety of the song, so incredible. And to have that those ending notes on different beatbox sounds, but to come together at the end and just have the bass come through at the very tail end of the piece just to be sustained and then that sharp cutoff. Really excellent choice, guys. Really, really excellent. I love this, dude. The entire vibe of this song, just so consistent, so smooth, such a groove, such a bop, man. Oh, yeah. I gotta be sure to hear more of their stuff. I think they have something pink. I gotta check that out. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I do read all of the comments, even if I might not heart or reply to them. So just know that your comments do not go unnoticed, and I do take them into consideration as I make future videos. I really do appreciate all of you being here. It really does mean a lot to me, and I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.